Welcome to The Explainer. You know, sometimes you can learn a lot by just looking at a single day's news. And that's exactly what we're going to do today for India. We'll connect the dots between a surprising new trade partner, a big push for high-tech manufacturing, and a lot more to really see the bigger picture of where India is heading.
Okay, let's kick things off with something pretty startling, a real shakeup in the global security landscape from the latest Global Terrorism Index. For the first time ever, Pakistan has been ranked as the #1 country most impacted by terrorism, and sadly they've recorded their highest fatality levels since 2013.
Now, where does India fit into all this? Well, it's a very different story. India's ranked 13th, and the report actually points to a significant drop in terrorism-related incidents. And you know, this kind of improved security situation, well, that's what gives a country the confidence to really engage with the world. Which, hey, brings us right to our first theme, what India is doing on the global stage.
So here's the thing. It's not just security landscapes that are shifting, right? The economic ones are too. And we're seeing India make some really fascinating moves in trade, in diplomacy, and in strategic partnerships.
So let's start with a pop quiz, kinda. There's been a major change in India's trade patterns, one you might have easily missed. For a while now, the #3 spot was held by a European country. Any ideas who just took their place?
And the answer is China. Yep, China just leapfrogged the Netherlands to become India's third largest export destination. That's a pretty big deal when you think about the trade dynamics in the region.
So here you can see the whole picture. The US and the UAE are solidly at the top, no real surprise there. But China climbing to #3, that's the real story here. It really highlights just how complex and, well, how big the economic relationship is between these two giants, even with all their other geopolitical disagreements.
But look, it's not all about trade. India's also really stepping up its diplomatic and strategic game. We're talking about everything from joint naval exercises way out in the Indo-Pacific to reopening key border crossings and strengthening ties with neighbors like Bhutan. It's all about actively shaping its own neighborhood, so to speak.
Okay, so while all this is happening on the world stage, there's an equally huge story playing out back home. As India's global footprint gets bigger, there's this really powerful push to build a stronger, more self-reliant India from the inside out. First things first, let's get on the same page about a piece of tech that's, well, it's absolutely critical for our future. We're talking about rare earth magnets. And no, these are not your average fridge magnets. These things are incredibly powerful, and they are essential for pretty much all high-performance tech, from electric cars and wind turbines to the phone in your pocket.
And this is the big news. India has just opened its very first pilot plant to make these magnets right in Hyderabad. I mean, this is a massive step towards what they call self-reliance. It's about reducing its dependence on imports, especially from China, which pretty much dominates the global market right now. This is all about securing a vital piece of the high-tech supply chain.
And don't think this is just some small project. The government's own words from the Department of Science and Technology say the goal is a robust and self-reliant manufacturing system. So you can see this is a huge part of a much bigger strategy to really strengthen the domestic economy from the ground up.
And you know, this whole idea of self-reliance, it isn't just about fancy high-tech stuff. It's also about empowering people at the grassroots level. A new government scheme is making it easier for microfinance institutions to lend money to small entrepreneurs, helping to fuel economic growth from the bottom up.
And of course, as more and more people jump into this growing economy, you've got to protect them, right? So the market regulator, SEBI, is rolling out a brand new, way more secure UPI payment system to clamp down on fraud. The most important thing for you to know if you're an investor is to always look for that special @valid handle and the little green thumbs up icon before you approve any payment. That's how you know your money's going to a legit, verified place.
But hey, progress isn't just measured by the economy, is it? A truly strong nation also takes care of its environment and celebrates its diverse culture. So let's shift gears and look at some of the day's big stories in conservation, sustainability, and cultural life.
And it was a really good day for conservation, actually. For example, the government in Assam has proposed a new reserve forest to protect a vital wildlife corridor. Then over in Meghalaya, scientists found a whole new species of frog. And, in a really cool move that blends the old and new, India is now using things like geospatial tech to do a better job of protecting its forests.
And this focus on sustainability, it's actually sparking some pretty cool economic innovation too. A new portal for India's carbon market just went live. Now what is that? Well, think of it like a marketplace where companies can buy and sell carbon credits. It creates a real financial reason for them to cut emissions and push harder towards green energy.
And finally, the day also gave us this beautiful snapshot of India's incredible cultural fabric. You have these vibrant tribal festivals celebrating that deep connection between people and nature. And at the very same time, India is joining the rest of the world to mark days of awareness for really important global issues like health and human rights. It's a great reminder that real progress isn't just about money and politics, it's about building a better world for everyone.
So, after all that, what are the big takeaways? What should you remember? Well, I think it boils down to three clear things. First, the world order is changing, and India is actively finding new economic and strategic opportunities in that shift. Second, there's this massive internal push for self-reliance in really critical sectors like technology and finance. And third, the whole idea of what progress even means is now deeply linked with sustainability.
So what does this one day tell us? From global trade deals to discovering a tiny new frog, what does it all really show us about the road ahead? Well, it paints a picture of a nation that's really on the move, confidently navigating a complex world while trying to build a stronger, more self-reliant future at home. And I guess the real question, the challenge that's always there, is how to balance those huge global ambitions with the needs of its people and, of course, the health of the planet.